with all the pricing changes happening at KDP, or the print cost changes, and I did a video recently about that. If you're not aware, please feel free to go and check that out after watching this video, of course. But recently, Amazon or KDP has announced some paperback hardcover print cost changes, and you can see before June 20th, 2023, and effective after on or after June 20th, 2023, they're going to have quite a few changes coming in from their print costs. And I thought, why not do a video on how to price your books? And I'm going to share a few strategies today, so make sure you stay tuned. So let's kick it off with number one, the free ebook. Okay, so this is it could be a permanently free or perma-free, or it could be a free first or one or two books that leads into your series. So if you write in a series, for example, I'm just picking a random one here, book 1 of 5, Mitch Cannon, he's got like 5 books in the series. So if you take a look at that one, you can see this one's free. Number 1 is free, but the rest are normal price, if you like. So basically, this is kind of like your loss leader, some people might call it, or your magnet to attract people in. So when someone reads this book, maybe they'll like it, and then they'll hopefully like it and go and buy the rest of your books. But you have other books that you can have a look that are permanently free. I've got a perma-free. The idea is just to draw people in to hopefully give them a sample of my writing style. It's not in a series at all, so they're welcome to have a read, and if they like it, they can check out my other books, or they can subscribe to my lead magnet, my newsletter, which is one of the main drivers I did the perma-free book. So that's the first technique, okay, the perma-free, and you can check that out yourself. Now, number 2, I'm going to do a low and no content example, and this is the low or cheap price. And so number 1, you got to be aware of perceived value, and of course, if you're pricing your books, with all the changes on print book pricing especially, you want to check this out. So for example, this one's priced at $3.99. It's doing really well. It's like sub 50k on bestseller rank, independently published and everything, but I don't know how much this person is going to be making, to be honest. I mean, $3.99, there's not a lot of, there's 100 pages in this. I don't know if this person is going to be making much royalties, especially after the changes that come in. So be aware of, cheap can be okay, if you're going to sell volume, that's fine, but there's also perceived value. So if you're doing regular books, so not low or no content, if you're doing regular books, if you're doing something that's high value, you have to be aware of perceived value, how the customer is going to perceive your book and its value. So that's the cheaper or lower budget end for customers. So make sure you're aware of that. Great if you have a excellent sales rank. You can, what you don't make up in the pricing, you make up in the volume of sales. So that's one strategy. Now, the next one, and I'm going to cover a bonus one as well, a bonus tip in here, is the, I'm just giving you an example, but I've searched up finance books, but this one is what I call the average, okay, strategy. So you just scroll through whatever books there are, make a note of, paperbacks and how much they're currently listed at, maybe how many pages. So this has 235 pages, this one has 640 pages, so make a note, and then you probably have to, and this is where you need to do a bit more due diligence, check out the word count, okay? So don't just look at the number of pages, because these might be, so this is a 5x7, 320 page. These are very, very established books, by the way. This is like a 5 and a bit by 8, 640 pages, and this one is a 5.5 by 8.5 for 235 pages. So it's probably better to use the word count to see how these are faring. 128 at 6 by 9. This is going at 10.99. So basically, you need to gather information. My suggestion is word count, so book size, consider the brand name and sales rank of the author, because obviously, like, these guys are very, very famous. I mean, they've been around. Actually, they're no longer around, but their books are continuing to sell. And look at the sales rank, 81, 156. Like, this is, they will continue to sell for many years to come, even though they're long gone. God rest their souls. Anyway, so take an average of, go through the first 1 or 2 pages, make a note of the word count, the book size, the brand of the author, sales rank, and have a look at the average price and see where your book might fit in. Okay, so that's the bonus tip and the average method of finding a pricing strategy. And finally, I want to talk about the higher end or the more expensive books. And you know, most of these, I've just pulled up the hot new releases. Now, quite a few of these are trad published. You'll have to look to see if you think these are reasonable prices, but what I want to show you is stuff like this one. You know, it doesn't matter what this person puts out. There's always going to be a massive demand, okay? So they could price this at, you know, I mean, this is very reasonable, don't get me wrong, but if they price it at $50, you know, I think they would lose some sales, but they would also get, you know, quite a lot of fans continuing to buy. So just be aware that you can price your books on the higher end. That's not a problem, but you have to consider whether, I mean, firstly, you got to consider perceived value. If everyone else is pricing around this price and you price yours above, you need to see, you know, from a customer's perspective, what are they getting? And also, this higher pricing strategy works very well with people who have a brand, or if they're well known. It's typically less effective for less well known authors. I fall in that category, unfortunately. So yes, just consider your pricing if you're pricing it on the higher end, whether you got the brand, you got the audience, you got the following, because some of these people on here, for example, you know, they could price it whatever they felt like, and there would be people buying it, you know. Whereas if someone who's unknown, like myself, for example, if I price it at, you know, $35 or $20, I near guarantee I would not have any sales. That's just reality, you know. Brand, audience, following, that all matters. So there's just a few strategies for you to consider in light of the changes that are happening with the print pricing changes at KDP. Hopefully you found this useful. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I shall see you next time.